Tired of jumping through hoops to buy Bitcoin? Frustrated with endless paperwork and invasive identity checks? Introducing Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club's loan program. No KYC required. Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to freedom. Borrow up to $250,000 at as little as 7% interest. Join our community and take control of your financial future. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where privacy meets opportunity. Connect with like-minded individuals and grow together. Visit us today and unlock your $250,000 Bitcoin loan. Your journey to financial freedom starts here.
I am blurry. Holy shit. Come on, camera. I'm good looking. Show it. There I am. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite truck driver, ex-truck driver in the whole wide world. Wait. Your favorite. You know what the fuck I mean. Okay. Welcome to the show, guys. It is Monday, which you know what that means. Every Monday is followed by a fucking Tuesday. Oh, Jesus. But you gotta love it, because if you didn't wake up this morning, that would suck. But you did, so take advantage of it. Make today your bitch. Make today the best fucking Monday you've ever had. And how do you do that? Let me tell you. You appreciate what you got. You look forward to what is coming, and you don't worry about the shit from the past, because you can't change it, and you can't change people's minds on the past. It is what it is. Let it go and move forward. Now, the headline of the show today is how Bitcoin makes you rich by making you better. Have you looked at yourself lately? Have you really analyzed yourself lately? Let's actually think about yourself pre-knowledge of Bitcoin. Your level of hope probably involved the weekend. You're like, oh, God, wait till Friday. Can't wait till Friday. Not because you really knew Friday was going to be good, and not because you knew the weekend was really going to be good. It was an escape from a system and a life that you were trapped inside the system that every week hit you. Every week, every Friday, you got your paycheck. You're like, yay, and look at all the money they took. You went to the grocery store. You went shopping. Yay, there's a new, wow, I really like that jacket. Holy shit, that's expensive. You were in a race against the deflation or the inflation of our currency, and that was linked with your happiness, where everything you looked at towards the future, you had this hint would be more. Man, I'll buy a house in 2 years. Well, how much is a house going to be? How much am I going to be making? Well, will I be making as much or more? Because if I'm not making more, then the house in 2 years is more expensive than it is right now. So it would freeze you. You had to analyze loss as a reality. You had to look at the future in a negative manner, because the future meant less value. Like, man, I hope I get a raise next year, because what I'm making right now ain't fucking cutting it. God, I hope I win the lottery. Give me a scratch off. Why do you think lotteries are so popular? Is it because everyone's like, man, I want to get rich? Or is it a purchase that you're making out of desperation and not hopefulness. No one actually buys a scratch off and goes, man, hope this changes my life because it's gonna be awesome. No, they hope that they're the lucky random person that gets enough value, not money, value off of a scratch card. One thing I really let absorb lately is a casino, the operations of a casino. They're beautiful. They're huge. They're big. They make a fuck ton of money. Well, if they make a fuck ton of money, who's losing that fuck ton? And then walk around and look at the people in the casino. Right? I have went to some smaller casinos, usually because that's where some of the best restaurants are, or the buffet. And look at the people that are in there. Do they look like they're enjoying themselves? Or do they look like they are do they look like they are a cog in the casino system? They're hitting their little tappers and they're watching the numbers. And then they're just roll right. They aren't enjoying it. They're occupying their time with it, hoping that they're going to hit the big one. When I was in Vegas for the conference, it was in a casino. And what really struck me as fucking ironic was we were at an event that basically focused on an asset of appreciation through investment in a place that is set up for the lowest common denominator of our society and giving them hope to win in a slot machine. If all of those people who were playing the slots or playing the cards or whatever, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going to a casino. You take $100 or $1,000, whatever's relative to you, and you have a little fun on a weekend or something. You just kind of just hanging out with the boys or girls. But I see a lot of lifers. I see a lot of people who and what amazes me and really shows it, they will cash a check for you at the casino. Who shows up at the casino without the cash they plan on using at the casino? Number two, who shows up at a casino with a fucking checkbook? Oh, and just in case I gotta hurry up and pay rent. What? So the casino knows, man, we'll give them the option to get into debt. We'll give them the option to extract more of their money than they planned on letting us have. You, and this is not a joke, guys. Look at you can apply for an instant line of credit at a casino. Who in the fuck is getting a short-term loan at a casino? That's someone who's desperate. And the casino wouldn't offer it if people didn't use it. So, and that's the government. A casino, the government is just a casino, and the house always wins because they have the leverage, right? Have you ever wondered why casinos have chips and not just, why aren't they just dealing in dollars or quarters or whatever? You know why? Because they figured out if they kept the cash in a bank, if they kept the majority of their cash in a bank, they'd get an interest rate. So you're losing money to the casino. The casino's putting it in the bank and then issuing out tokens that represent currency, and they're getting the interest on the dollars at the bank while you're out there pouring more money into it. It's a funnel. That's all it is a funnel. Now, think of yourself now. How many of you watching this show would rather go to a casino and drop $1,000 than purchase $1,000 worth of Bitcoin? Exactly. Because it's no longer hope. It's, okay, do I need this $1,000 now? Or can I lock this $1,000 up for a year or two and let it appreciate? When you go to a casino, that $1,000 is gone. You ain't never going to see it again. And you'll get no long-lasting reward from that $1,000 you gave the casino, except next time you show up, they might have $1,000 improvement to their facility that you contributed to. So it'd be a little bit nicer casino. That's Washington, D.C. That's the government. See, if you pay taxes, when you send in your taxes, does anyone seriously go, man, glad I paid those taxes because those improvements are coming? Now, our existence, everything that the government touches or provides, has decreased in quality. Look at Obamacare. We're going to fix the healthcare system. Prices tripled and service went down. So we're all actually paying more for healthcare, getting shittier healthcare. Thanks, government. If the government ever ran a weight loss program, they would tell you to sit down and have a cheeseburger and ice cream. We are so used to living in an environment of declining quality that once we were introduced to the Bitcoin and cryptos, especially Bitcoin, we finally found something like, wait a second, when I invest in this, my experience with this actually goes up. There's actually reward. And it's legitimate. And it's code. And it doesn't falter. When I want to send Bitcoin, guess what? It fucking gets sent. The system works. We're so used to living in systems that don't work that as soon as you're into the Bitcoin and you live in a system that does work, holy shit, it's like a whole new life. Because then you sell a house and you're sitting there with $60,000 or $70,000 of dollars, and you go, okay, I got 70 grand. Where can I put it where I'm not going to lose it, for one thing? So therefore, you can't keep it in dollars because your purchasing price is going to drop like a fucking rock. Then in the old days, you'd go, you know what? I'll put it into the stock market. Yeah, that's what I do. Well, which one? Which company is not going to implode? Which company is under good management? Which company's CEO is not going to be caught on a kissing cam? Yeah. There was no predictability. There was no system that was incorruptible. There was nothing you could put your money into that you could systematically plan out a rate of return or appreciation mathematically, reliably, and systematically. Well, now we do. We have Bitcoin. And this whole idea of, oh, the volatility is just, it's incredible. It's too volatile. Anytime you hear someone say that, just put it into your head that they're stupid and they never really research anything. Because volatility is what you want in a growing asset. Because volatility is a representation of adoption. Or inclusivity. Wow, proud of me for saying that fucking word right. Inclusivity of the technology into the economic system of the world. Right? It ain't just me saying, oh, hang on. Word from the sponsor. Oh, hang on. Damn, I'm good at this. Hold, please.
Attention visionaries and pioneers, the future of wealth is here, and it's spelled B-I-T-C-O-I-N, Bitcoin. Introducing the exclusive Loans for Bitcoin program at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where your good credit unlocks 0% interest loans for up to 2 years, or term loans up to $250,000 spread over 7 to 12 years. Why wait? Use this capital to acquire the world's fastest appreciating asset, Bitcoin. With prices hovering around 94,000 and projections aiming much higher by the year's end, the time to act is now. Leverage isn't just for Wall Street anymore. Arbitrage the low cost of your loan against Bitcoin's explosive growth. It's smart finance for the modern investor. And privacy matters. Our no KYC Bitcoin purchase program ensures you buy and self-custody your assets in your own wallet. Your keys, your Bitcoin, your future. And as the world shifts to digital currencies, be ahead of the curve. Front-run corporations, governments, in this greatest financial revolution of our times. I'm Jay Bose, CEO of Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Call or text us today at 941-413-6920 and get started on that loan application. Secure your legacy. You will thank yourself tomorrow.
All right, let's jump right back in here on volatility. Let's think about your pulse. What if your pulse wasn't volatile? What if it didn't pump and retract? Pump and retract. What if it just pumped? You'd have a fucking stroke. Right? What if it didn't retract? Then it wouldn't draw in blood and your lungs wouldn't pull in oxygen and you die. Volatility is a sign of life, because when you flatline, guess what? You're not volatile at all. You're absolutely non-volatile. You got no fucking volatility in your life because you got no life. Volatility is life. And this, anytime someone tells you, oh, well, you know, Bitcoin's too volatile, you should tell them, oh, I know it's insane volatile. I mean, I remember when I bought it at $600, it was so volatile to the upside. I couldn't stand it. I had to sell it. I was making so much money. It was just way too volatile. It was actually doing too well. I just had to sell it. People who say volatility is a bad thing are people who don't think. They just hear a word that sounds fancy. They heard someone else on Bloomberg say it. So they parrot someone who they think is intelligent without thinking of volatility in the definition of volatility. Volatility is not a bad thing. It's not a negative. That's why, because really, if you want to talk about volatility, what I would say is, okay, what in life isn't volatile? Tell me the thing in life that isn't volatile. It doesn't have any fluctuations. Is it our weather? Is it constant? No. What in life? What in your life? Have you ever had the same fucking day every day? No. We remember the movie Groundhog Day? Does that seem like something you'd want to really participate in? The same fucking day every day? No, absolutely not. Volatility, right? Climbing a mountain is volatile. You're never putting your foot on the same place. It's shaky. It's a little iffy. But you're going up. Now, if you go down, that sucks too on a mountain. But it's volatile. but you actually get the emotional reward of achieving the volatility of the mountain. That's why people do it. They don't climb mountains because it's fucking easy. They climb mountains for reward. And when you get involved in cryptos and in Bitcoin, you are challenging yourself initially. You are challenging yourself with risk because you initially think it's risky because you haven't truly got into the weeds of what the Bitcoin is and its relationship to human nature. See, human nature so aligns with the Bitcoin because the Bitcoin is the monetary equivalent of nature. It's value added, a cumulative network. That's what the Bitcoin is. And that's why as soon as you get it, because living in a world of lies and a world of everything is devalued. Everything is. It's because we're humans. We, and especially nowadays, we devalue shit in about 10 seconds. That's called our attention span. Right? We see something, ooh, it's got value. Okay, I'm done. Now I'll slide right or slide whatever the fuck they say. They slide left and right or scroll up or scroll down off to the next moment of value. And we all see it in ourselves. Do you remember when you originally, or when you first purchased your most recent car, how excited you were? You were like, oh, it's so clean. Oh, it's so nice. Oh, it drives so nice. Now you get in there and you're like, you don't even think about the car as an item. It's a usage. You use your car, you go to work or you go to the grocery store. You have appreciation of it, but you don't have that excitement. You don't have that ooh feeling anymore because humans devalue everything once it's normalized. Once we normalize something, the initial hype goes away. But the use case of the item, we still use it. Well, that's where we're at in the Bitcoin, except we're in the adoption phase of the Bitcoin network. And since it's a global network that is available to every human, almost, there's a few in Africa who haven't quite got cell phones yet, but everyone, you can purchase Bitcoin now. And the rally, the true FOMO, is just starting because it's the rich people's FOMO. Remember what Bitcoin is. It's one thing. Now you can look at the code, you can look at all this, you can look at that, you can look at the hash rate, you can look at all that. All it does is eat fiat. That's it. Hey, yo, Bitcoin, what's your job? I fiat. That's it. It eats fiat. Well, think about that. As long as there is fiat around, the Bitcoin will eat it because it's better. It's a better form of money. And if you're looking at it as an investment wise, it's the best company you could invest in. Why was X so popular? Or why was Twitter so popular? Why was Facebook so popular? Because it's a network. It's a network of humans interacting digitally. That's what Bitcoin is. It's just your transaction on the Bitcoin network is a monetary value and not a kitty video. And that's K-I-T-T-Y, not K-I-D-D-Y. Or yeah. This is why it's a great investment, because it doesn't have a CEO. It doesn't have an HR fucking department. It doesn't have a compliance officer that says, oh, sorry, Bitcoin, you can't do that. That's not compliant with legislation. Bitcoin don't give a fuck about your law. Bitcoin don't give a fuck about your regulation. It doesn't care if you like it. It doesn't care if you hate it. It doesn't care if you think its hair's funny. Nothing. It just keeps doing what it does. Right? That's it. It just keeps going. And that's what you look for in an investment, because the Bitcoin, it is its own CEO. It is its own HR department, because it regulates itself inside of its own code. It never breaks its own code, ever, because it's the code. Code is law. If you write a code that sends out a tweet, it's not going to send out an email, because it wasn't coded to send out emails. And that's what if, let's look at it like this. What if X or Facebook was just code that was never changed, never altered, and just ran predictably and wasn't ran on an algorithm? Because the Bitcoin is not ran on an adjustable algorithm. It's code. Now, the mining rewards and the mining difficulty, that adjusts, but that's an internal adjustment to create the predictability and reliability of the block. It self-manages, unlike the Federal Reserve. And this morning, I'm sitting here watching Bloomberg, watching an absolute dipshit try to say that the Federal Reserve needs to have it has to be a sovereign entity. The Federal Reserve is absolutely necessary and has brought us wealth and prosperity. I wanted to reach through the TV and slap the cock out of that guy's mouth. Because It is literally the monetary poison that has drained us of our labor value. It has drained us of our capital, of our labor capital. Look at your labor capital or your labor value as the blood in your body. If you're losing purchasing price in your blood, that means you're losing its ability to retain oxygen, to retain iron, to retain nutrients. If your blood does not hold its value, you die. Same thing with your currency. If your currency does not retain value, the economic system in which it's built on dies. Because there's no exchange of value. All right? Look at it like this. If all we needed was fluid in our body, just add water in your veins. Replace your blood with water. See how long you fucking live. You won't, because it doesn't have the nutritional values, and it can't carry the nutritional values that blood carries. Well, the US dollar is the equivalent of water in your veins. Yeah, it's a unit. It's a unit of account, but it doesn't have any value. It doesn't have any monetary energy in it. It doesn't have any it doesn't have any value of iron. It doesn't have any value of oxygen. And there's a fuck ton more water than there is human blood. This is why once you're in the Bitcoin, it makes you a better person. Because now you can be a better person because you're living in an honest system. See, fiat money is made to be corrupt because the system is corrupt. Anybody who argues that the Federal Reserve is necessary, the only reason they see it that way is because they think that manipulation isn't corruption. When rust manipulates iron, it's corrupting the iron. It's corroding the iron through manipulation of molecules. Manipulation is corruption. At its definition. But that's the system they built. So every time I hear someone say, well, the unintentional consequences of the Federal Reserve, fuck you. That's like saying the unintentional consequences of Bitcoin is they mined another block. No, it was programmed to mine fucking blocks. It isn't unintentional. when you create a system, right? When you actually build a lawnmower, it doesn't unintentionally fly. It's a fucking lawnmower. So when you hear someone say the unintentional results of the Federal Reserve dropping interest rate was X. No, because it's a systematic situation. The Federal Reserve corrupts our money because it was actually created to corrupt our money and steal wealth away from our wallets and put it into the federal government's wallet. And when I say federal government, I don't just mean the organization of the federal government. It's all of the leeches who leech off of the federal government. It's the banks. It's the war machine. It's fucking big pharma. Think about this. If their medications were so good, you wouldn't have to legislate them. It would just be common sense. Parents would go in to the hospital, a child, and go, you know what? I heard these vaccines are so goddamn good. Pump my child up with these vaccines, please. Because I got a friend who has a kid who is fully vaccinated, so much smarter than his other kids who aren't vaccinated. No, legislation is, most legislation is trying to implement a bad idea using force. Because if it was a good idea, you wouldn't have to legislate it. This is the problem with government. Is government is meant to govern. That's the problem with government, because they govern. Right? Life cannot be governed. How good are you guys at governing your life? Is it always absolutely predictable? Does nothing ever go wrong? Does it have zero volatility? No. So if you, as an individual living your life, if you improving your life is kind of challenging, how good is it when somebody 1,000 miles away from you tells you that you can't do X or you can't do this? So in all of your options of improving your life, here's the restrictions that you cannot use to improve your life. And that leads people to a mindset of, okay, well, what can I do? That's asking permission. See, a lot of people do not think like I think. That's why I've had so many people ask, well, who gave you permission to open these clubs? Who gave you permission to do this? Fuck off. Free people do not ask permission. Now, there's a difference between asking permission and seeking cooperation. Two different things. But when the federal or local government tells you you cannot do X or you have to do this, you ask him, why aren't I already doing this? If it's such a good fucking idea, why isn't it as soon as you said it, I said, ooh, that's a good idea, I'll do that. Because they're trying to legislate your daily life. And they legislate by limiting. They limit your options. And when they limit your options, then you don't have a real good layout of your options, because life doesn't have very clear choices. It isn't a left or a right. Life is one big shade of gray. And if the federal government or any government tells you, okay, you have to move forward, but you can't turn left. All right, well, how about if I go slightly this way? Nah, I don't know. That's hinting at left. Then you have to analyze someone else's fucking regulation or limitation on your life. And that's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. If it was real, if that worked, why isn't in nature? Why isn't every single bird controlled by a council of birds? Why doesn't a deer or a herd of deer, why don't they have a leader that micromanages them? Now, there's nothing wrong with having a leader in a direction, but a tribe of lions, or I don't think they're called a tribe, I think they're called a pack or a pride of lions in southern Africa isn't checking with the pride of lions in northern Africa to see if they're approved to hunt this certain fucking gazelle, right? There's no lions that are calling Washington, D.C. of lions to see if it's okay if, hey, we would think about going laying under that tree over there. Are you guys good with that? No. Local control. And when I say local, I mean family. Now, someone just wrote electrolytes. Thank you, tire doctor. Yeah, electrolytes. I don't know why the plants ain't growing. They got electrolytes. If you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, watch a movie called Idiocracy. Thanks. Idiocracy, and you'll get it. Electrolytes. Nature isn't a republic. Right? Nature doesn't have a Washington, D.C. Nature couldn't give a fuck about the rest of nature's opinion on it. A lion doesn't walk around trying to gather consensus of the gazelles. Hey guys, I'm kind of hungry. thought I'd each, what are your guys' thoughts? You want to vote? But yet we look to Washington, D.C. like any of those have our fucking best interest in mind. They don't. They don't. My grandfather used to say, peace is not lack of violence. Peace is abundance of freedom. That's what peace is. When you are free to choose your own direction and the manner in which you travel that direction, that is peace. When you have to walk through the land of landmines, that ain't peace. And that's what the federal government and governments do. They put up landmines. And can anyone watching this, can you recite all of the laws? All of them. Local, county, federal, state. There's a reason that as a Christian, there's a reason Noah brought down 10 rules. Here, do this or don't do that. 10 rules, pretty easy to memorize. The average person, and this is not a fucking joke, the average American breaks 27 laws a day. Existing. And these are not people who are like, you know what, I'm breaking the fucking law today, breaking the law, breaking the law. Who sings that? Iron Maiden? Breaking the law, breaking the law. I think that is Iron Maiden. I may be. Hey, chat, do you know if Breaking the Law was Iron Maiden? I think it was. Could you check me on that? Here comes Jim Flanagan. I guarantee Jim's going to answer. That guy's a muse, like a music nut. Right. Exactly, Ben. That's why law is mostly BS outside of the 10 Commandments. Absolutely. And I don't know. I have been married 3 times. And none of those vows ever ended with "and to be determined." None of them. Volatility is life. You have to have, oh, Judas Priest. That's right. Thank you. I knew I was wrong because it sounded right, but I knew it wasn't. But it's volatility. You have to have volatility in your life because life is volatile. Therefore, you have to react with volatility. That's why we have the word vitality. Is that right? Vitality? Shit, I don't know. But you know what I mean. Right? It is vital that you do this. Okay, sounds important. Vitality is vital for life. Holy shit, I've been talking for almost an hour. Hope I said something good. Okay, everybody, thank you for watching the show. And remember, you guys are all future whales. When I was on Simply Bitcoin last week, and I think it was last Friday, if you haven't watched the interview I did with Simply Bitcoin, Nico and them, check it out. Last Friday's great episode, because I told everyone watching, you're a future whale. If you have 0.1 Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin, if you own 0.1 Bitcoin, you're a future whale. That's a good system. And everybody, have a great day and love yourself, and go out there and have a very volatile day. Because if you weren't, you'd be dead. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same channel, same me. Love you guys. Bye-bye. What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite truck driver, ex-truck driver in the whole wide world. It's Bitcoin Ben, here to invite you to our weekly Friday owners call. Now, what the owners call is it's a call that I and some of my associates actually do with our current and our prospective owners of our clubs, where we give you the information, answer the questions that you have on what's going on with your club you own right now, or what are the investment opportunities of owning a piece of the club. If you're interested in owning a share or a piece of our clubs, our resorts, our bank, our future airline we're launching, our decentralized private jet company, get on board, guys. Everyone's moving in to the decentralized economy. Join now, and at least join the owner's call. It's easy peasy. You get all the information you need. You can ask all the questions you want, and it's very simple. Give us a call or send us a text right now at 941-391-3882. It's right here. 941-391-3882. Love you guys, and I will see you guys later. Give us a call. Bye-bye.